Hey, how's it going, y'all? It's another stream. Uh, Playing Blade Runner 2077, of course. I got the news going on already. So it won't be forever in a day. And I got some tunes ready to play. I got one roll, ready to do some story. Let's see what things are looking like in the dark future.
Make it then through the House. So over at the House, you had Hakeem Jeffries vowing to keep pushing for the extension, saying the fight is not over, we're just getting started. Saying either Republicans finally decide to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits this year, or the American people will throw Republicans out of their jobs next year and end the speakership of Donald J. Trump once and for all. That's how this fight ends. Well, we're all gonna see how this actually plays out over the coming months. There's also a few other things in the funding bill that have turned some heads. So for example, it restricts many hemp-derived THC products, which is actually a provision that briefly held up the deal. It also put just over $200 million towards increasing security for members of Congress, which, isn't the most surprising thing given the recent surge in threats against lawmakers as well as other concerns about political violence. And finally, one of the most contentious measures, it might actually not be sticking around for long, because it allows senators specifically to sue the government for $500,000 if their phone data or other electronic records are obtained without their knowledge. That it appears to be a response to recent revelations that 8 Republican senators had their phone records subpoenaed as part of special counsel Jack Smith's investigation into Trump's efforts to overturn the
Johnny wants to ask you out on a date.
Especially since the provision is retroactive to 2022, meaning that they'd be eligible to sue. So in the House, you've even had other Republicans pushing back with, for example, Congressman Chip Roy saying there's going to be a lot of people, if they look and understand this, are going to see it as self-serving, self-dealing kind of stuff. You even had Speaker Mike Johnson saying this was way out of line and announcing that House Republicans would be introducing standalone legislation to repeal the provision, and saying we are putting this legislation on the fast-track suspension calendar in the House for next week. So really, for the weeks and the months ahead, there's a lot we're going to have our eyes on and talk about more in the near future. But then, from that, the final thing today is I had a long conversation with Scott Galloway. Right? He's an academic, an author, an entrepreneur, and a podcaster. He's got so many podcasts. And he just came out with a book called Notes on Being a Man. It's very much about, young men growing up, what it means to be masculine, especially at a time when many on the far right have pushed this idea of masculinity that's largely pushing cruelty, grievance, and victimhood. Well, I highly recommend you check out the whole thing. Links in the description so you can get it on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. I wanted to include this section on the haves versus the have-nots, or more specifically, either growing up rich or growing up not really having anything. I'm thankful for not having money growing up, and having those like, oh, well, we can't do that, or, almost freezing to death as we're waiting for a bus that never showed up. I'm thankful for that, because I will never not have that spark. I will never not have that drive, because you know what it's not 100%. To have. And I also, my hope is also that it sparks empathy, because I feel like we see so many people that then pull up the ladder behind them, and they think that it's personal exceptionalism, and I get kind of furious. I hate that because it's the me and not the we, and it fucks with my head of can we move forward.
I have a bias against rich kids. I find out someone has rich parents, and I just don't give them the benefit of the doubt. And a lot of it is, one, I'm probably a little bit jealous, but I think you can have sympathy for people without money, but you don't really know what it's like unless you grow up without money. And also, people have a tendency, and one of the things in San Francisco I hate about more with tech brothers is they credit all their success. They credit their grit and their character for all their success and don't recognize how fortunate they were to be married. They're not launching rockets into space from South Africa. They're not building photo sharing apps in Vancouver or Seoul. There's something unique about our country that is not their fault, that they've benefited massively from. They're almost always male, they're almost always white males, they're almost always people who came from upper middle class or wealthy homes, unless they're immigrants. And the ones born with money, they just have no idea. Just some stats. The average high school spends $15,000 per student. The average high school in a poor neighborhood spends $8,000 to $10,000. The average elite private school, the top 100, spend $75,000 a year. So think of it as investing in a kid. A kid from a top income earning household that goes to a private school is literally getting $750,000 invested in training, education, special needs, exposure to interesting things. By the time they apply to high school, the result is the difference between lower and middle income households in the SAT is 120 points. Where income inequality really kicks in is between the middle class and wealthy households now, and the difference in the SAT scores between middle class and upper income homes is 250 50 points. So if we were really going to be honest, if a kid grows up in a lower income home, we'd spot him 370 points on the SAT. I mean, you just have no idea how every day you're getting advantage or you're not getting advantage. And I remember when I applied to school, 74% admissions rate, and I didn't get in. And I was only applied to one school because I needed to live at home, I didn't have money, and I didn't get in. I was one of the 26% that didn't get in. I remember I lived in a neighborhood where there was some wealth, and I remember friends' parents saying to me, "What? Michigan's a great school. Why wouldn't you get on a plane and just go to Michigan and show up at the admissions office and say you're here, you're good, you're a smart kid, you're funny, da-da-da." And I'm like, Michigan? I don't own a credit card. I've been on a plane twice in my life. I don't know how that works. You don't have the confidence and the gumption.
And that, my friend, is actually where this video is going to end, but you got more just a click away. But I definitely recommend you check out that brand new podcast with myself and Scott Galloway right here. It's just over an hour. It covers a lot. I think you're going to find it very interesting. And I really love just talking to a new person every week and then releasing it on the In Good Faith podcast. And or you can catch the new podcast I did with Alex Perlman on Crashing Out. It's kind of where I vent / also I feel like get radicalized every week. And links, of course, to everything in the description. But no matter what you do, let me just say thank you for watching. I love your faces. And actually, I'll see you right back here tomorrow. Surprise, I'm giving you a special Friday show this week. See you there.
Yeah, a lot of craziness has been happening. We can't go a day. Can't go a single goddamn day without some shit going down. And I will say this. Never bored. Never bored. Never bored. Ever. Count on that. Fucking funky sons of bitches. What y'all been up to though during the end of the world? Enjoying ourselves? Cheers. We're smoking to ease the pain. Other than that, we're pretty much chill. Listening to tunes. Probably not going to be a super long stream tonight. Just kind of hanging out, hanging, banging. Yeah, I grabbed a couple different games outside of this, and I was wondering which ones I should stream. Honestly, yeah, I don't know. What would y'all like to see? Somebody watching, leave a comment. And I just downloaded Antibiotic Factor. Some stuff. Hey, I guess we'll see what they want to do stream.
Get you anything?
Oh, this is for Lizzie.
You look okay. Go in. No messing around.
I'm looking for a guy. Name's Liam Northam. You know where I can find him?
No, you can fuck off, Merc. I ain't talking.
Better you think that, or you'll regret it.
One more word out of you and I'll scrap you so bad even trauma won't know your ass from your elbow. Delta, now.
Champagne's the VIP room, step.
Okay, just let me get 3 there, check.
Looking for Liam Northam.
That one.
Fuck. Can't stand that gunk. Bad tipper? Uh-huh. Plus he's a jackass. Output's even worse. Output, huh? Anyway, where's he at?
You know I can't tell you that.
Look, I'll pay. Make up for all those bad tips.
In the VIP room with some new output. Ordered champagne, so it's a party. But, you didn't hear it from me, yeah?
Sure. Right. Let's see what's here.
Champagne? Nice surprise.
Considered a token of my gratitude. I know you don't often agree to use the relic, but, well, you don't usually make an engram of a living person either.
Oh, come on. Arasaka's taken a keen interest in Lizzie's career. Be a shame if it ended prematurely. A backup copy seems to be the most sensible solution.
How about that? Once you made the backup, can you tweak it to remove undesirable traits? Because Lizzie, ever since her conversion, she hasn't been herself.
I'm afraid that's impossible. Engrams saved in the Secure Your Soul program cannot be edited. But how significant would these edits be?
Significant. Sometimes I don't even recognize her. Other times, never mind. Let's have a drink. To our partnership.
Oh, fuck. You heard what I just heard, right? Relic. They want to do her what they did me.
Not exactly. They wiped you. Here, they just want to make a backup.
A backup? V, we're talking about a person, not your vacay snaps. Guy didn't even ask. He's just going behind her back. He's got no right to do it. Nobody has that right.
Especially without her knowing. Shit. I don't even tell her.
Don't have to. Camera in there. Where there's a cam, there's footage.
Got some intel on Liam.
And? Is it what I thought?
No. Worse, Lizzie. Much, much worse.
What do you mean?
Listen, I know the deeds. Liam, he wants your engram. He wants to copy you.
What? But why?
He said he's afraid. For you. And of you.
No, I don't believe it. You hear me? Not a single word. You're lying.
Got the data to prove it. Here, listen for yourself.
No. It's... No. Fuck.
That was a bit short, so we'll find this missing persons.
0. I repeat, code 0 in this area. All units resume normal duties.
Fuck yeah! Slow down, Turbo. You'll get us killed. Again.
You're a dick, you know.
What's that? A billboard, of course. And out of all this vast desert, I need a billboard.
Interesting.
Shaking, don't know why you won't let me come a little closer to you. I'm terrified of the lies that whisper into my head. Sometimes at night I talk to you.